The biggest challenge for us is definitely the scale of the crisis. We would like to do is help as many people as possible, but we know that we can't help everyone.
What I want to ask you about the UN.
The UN is definitely a big problem. I think we've seen the failures of many, many institutions and governments. Syria has tested the world on a model that now has proven itself to be too big and not flexible enough to be able to be useful in a crisis of this scale. There's many things that you can do. Volunteering on the ground is just one way. Make yourself knowledgeable on what's going on in Syria. The next level would be to organize something in your university, organize something in your schools. And then you also, wherever you're living, there probably are Syrian refugees, and there probably are local resettlement agencies that could use volunteers, help. And one thing that university students can do right now is go to the website called booksnotbombs.com. And on that website, you'll find a lot of information on trying to get universities to sign up to give some spaces for scholarships for Syrian refugee youth.
Can you speak about your experience as women working in your respective fields?
My team is mostly women, and I'm very proud of that. The kids are actually surprised when they find out that the organization is run by the women.
I never thought it was a problem to be a working woman in the Middle East. On the contrary, it's actually kind of advantageous.
The only justice that I can see is that if we're able to create a new generation that is better than the one before, and that we are able to stop this from happening other places in the world. There's been an extremely exaggerated focus on ISIS, so that to the point where people believe that ISIS and the Assad regime are equal. The majority of the destruction, the majority of the deaths inside Syria have been done by the aerial bombardment on Syria by the Assad regime and its allies.
I mean, recently we've seen in the last year 1 million refugees in Europe, which has 500 million people. And in the last couple of years, we've had over 1 million Syrian refugees come to Jordan, which has around 6 million people. So what do you think about the coverage of that problem in Jordan?
Well, I think the media has always been distorted in covering things and has always been manipulated somehow for specific interests.
I would thank Germany for what they're doing, and I would actually thank Greece for what they're doing in saving so many people's lives. The European countries who have accepted Syrian refugees, they are going to find very soon in the next few years that their countries are richer culturally, have a lot more resources, have very, very hardworking people who are there because they want to make it. I mean, the US has done almost nothing for refugees. And since 9/11, America has accepted 780,000 refugees from around the world. 3 out of the 780,000 had relationships to terrorism, and they were found out and they weren't able to do anything.
If you had to say one thing to the youth out there with all the resources they have, especially technology, what would it be?
What should they do?
What should they do?
I would say that you are inheriting a world that has a lot of problems, and the problems are very, very big, but you also are the generation that is very compassionate. You're more compassionate than your parents. You're more generous than your parents. You're more willing to do more activism and to change the world. So you have a bleak reality, but you have tools that nobody had before. For you, it's the chance for this generation to kind of change the mistakes that have happened of the past.
But just ask the youth to really just, move on, wear their body armor and just, move on, never give up.